Hi, everybody. My name's Alex Keene. It may have been a little while since I've spoken to you, and for that I apologize. I want to take a few minutes to talk about the fairly large project that students are working on this week um, and next week, actually. Students in all of the seventh grade language arts classes are working on a project where we are writing an argumentative essay, meaning an essay that is meant to prove that a given statement is true. And this essay is asking students to choose three, or for some classes, maybe two, um, artifacts from the Harlem Renaissance, the period that we've been studying, that they think connect to a specific theme. And then in the essay, they're supposed to explain why they think those three artifacts are the three best artifacts that represent that theme. Um, this document here is the like our one and done worksheet for this entire project. So I want to give you just a quick overview of what we're doing so you know what to be checking for, so you know how to help your student if they need it, um, and to give you just kind of a brief timeline of what's going on here. So this is the prompt. As a curator, you have decided to create a Harlem Renaissance exhibit focusing on the theme that collaboration and community can bring out the best in people. Choose three works for the collection that most powerfully illustrate the theme and write an argument essay defending your claim about why these works are such a powerful illustration of the theme. So as we go through here, there's like step-by-step directions for how this is supposed to go, all the things students have to do to get ready. There are a list of 9 different artifacts from which students can choose when they're going to do the project. Each teacher is going to have different requirements for like how many of each category people are going to need. For my class, I'm saying they can pick any 3 that they want as long as at least one of them is literature. Some teachers might be asking for one of each. I don't know. Depends on the individual teacher. Following that is a checklist that explains the criteria for each section of the essay. For example, the title, the introduction, body paragraphs, that type of thing. And the idea is that students are going to find examples of those things in first the model essay, and then when we're done writing in their own essay, so we can be like, yes, they definitely did this right. It's like a built-in self-evaluation. As we go through, next up we have a model essay so that students can see what it is they're supposed to be working on. It's a fairly robust essay. Students' essays will probably be a little bit shorter than this, and that's fine. And then next up we have spaces for students to actually write. This is beginning on or around page 7 or 8 in your student's copy. So they're going to do the thing in this box over here. And then finally, on the last couple pages, there is a rubric that says like what the grade level expectation is for each area. You may have noticed that there's lots of color coding going on. That's something that the new curriculum does with writing essays. Everything that is, for example, red in the entire essay is going to focus on the thesis statement or the argument statement or the main idea statement, whatever you want to call it, the thing that they're trying to prove, right? So everything in the rubric that has to do with that is red. When they're doing it in their draft, that part is red. When they're looking at the example essay, one of the things that we do is find that section and mark it red. Like that's an activity that we do in class to help students understand the formatting. Similarly, up in the checklist, that part is red. So the idea is that students can very easily like compare different parts of the essay back and forth between theirs and the model and the checklist and the rubric. It makes it really easy for students, hopefully, to notice when something is missing or when something's out of place or when something is extraneous, all that good stuff. So briefly, I want to talk about the timeline here. Oh, you all can't see that. Here we go. I'll just. Yep. I'm recording this on Wednesday, the 27th. I'm going to move myself over here. So we've been planning this essay for most of this week. If I understand it properly, most classes started talking about introduction paragraphs like today and yesterday, and we'll be working on body paragraphs tomorrow and Friday, moving into conclusions on Monday of next week. The goal is to have the entire essay finished a week from Friday on the 5th. Um, so it's a fairly quick turnaround. We're not going to spend months and months and months on this. We're just going to ask students to do a little bit of writing, do some revision work, and get it handed in. My understanding here is that we're looking at two informal assessments or two informal grades, if you prefer, during this planning and drafting stage, and maybe a third from the revision stage. And then handing in the essay is going to be a formal grade, which for most classes will be the second formal grade of the quarter three. If we look ahead a little bit, I don't have quite as much information, but there is as we move into Black History Month, we're going to take a look at the connections between the Harlem Renaissance and more contemporary art during this week here of the 8th through the 12th, with a mid-unit assessment happening right after President's Day. These 2 weeks here, the second half of February, are excuse me, are going to be dedicated to our performance task, which is going to require students to modify the writing that we're doing right now, the current project, and they're going to change it from being an informational essay to being descriptive plaques that would go in in an art exhibit or a museum installation, that type of thing. So we're going to kind of double down on that curator idea. This will also be, there will be two or maybe three informal assessments and two formal assessments from that project. One for the writing that they do and one for the act of presenting it, because that's going to double as the end of module assessment as well as the performance task. So you can expect, if you take a look if teachers' grades are updated right now, like two informal grades from this week, plus a formal grade for handing in the essay, maybe two informal grades from here, plus a quiz as a formal grade, and then two or maybe three informal grades and two formal grades before the end of the quarter. Just to kind of give people a plan on where we are. The reason why I'm going so far into the future here is because I really want to hammer home the idea that if students aren't completing the planning and the drafting for this essay right now, it's really going to mess them up when they're trying to hand in their essay at the end of next week. But it's also going to come back to haunt them in the second half of the module when we get to the end here, because again, this performance task, this entire half of the unit is focused on like revising this work that they're doing right now. So if they don't have an essay, if they don't hand something in on the 5th, or if what they hand in isn't very good on the 5th, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to do well for the quarter, because they have a formal assessment here, two formal assessments down here, all kind of wrapped around this one thing. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on that and let you know what's going on. After we finish up with this module at the end of next month, which is it's astonishing to me that it's the 27th of January already. But as we finish that up, we're going to move into some like a skills review as we're getting ready for the end of grade tests, the EOGs, and then we'll move into our final unit, which is going to focus on the environment and the oceans and pollution, that type of thing, which is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. More details to come as we get closer. If you have questions about any of that stuff, please feel free to reach out to me. Or if you're watching this and you don't have me as a teacher, you can also, of course, reach out to your student's teacher. They would be more than happy to help you understand what's going on with this project and the timeline for the whole thing. So thanks again. I hope you have a fantastic evening. Be well and do good.